Hi everyone, it's Stacy from PeonyLaneDesigns.com. Today I'm being a reseller. If you want to learn about where to sell, click the link below. Don't forget to subscribe. We're going to talk about selling and choosing your space. Right back. Okay, so welcome back to Learning to Be a Reseller. If you are just starting out and you're looking to start reselling, any kind of reselling, clothes, vintage items, don't forget to check out my first video in the series, and we talk about inventory. So you're going to want to watch that, and don't forget to click the subscribe link, because this is going to be an ongoing series and we're going to get to shipping. Not in this video, but we will get to it, I promise. I know that's the biggest question you have, but I'm going to talk you through what it's like to start a reselling business. If you're working from home and you want to be there for your kids, or you're looking for income in your retirement, it is actually a good way to make some money. But you need to know what you're doing, and I'm hopefully here to help you get through some of the hurdles. So today we're going to talk about where to resell. Now, some of you may already have an idea of where you want to resell. So let's say you are a vintage seller and you've decided that Etsy is going to be your space, or you are a clothing reseller and you're going to be just shipping things to ThredUp, or you're going to sell on eBay or Poshmark. However you want to do it, you need to think about several things. And when you think about reselling online, so first of all, you need to know, are you responsible for taking the pictures? Are you responsible for promoting and marketing? Are you responsible for fees, listing fees, what percentage that company takes, and if you can make a profit on the item that you found? So these are all things to keep in mind as you're shopping for your inventory. So it's very important. So I know for sure that on Etsy, I'm going to pay 2.5%. I always just go up to 3 because it's easier to do the math in my head. A 3% pop on everything I sell, and that includes the shipping. So I include shipping in my prices, but a lot of people don't. And if you're not prepared for that and you list the actual shipping cost on Etsy and they take a 3% fee, you're going to be a little surprised. So make sure you know what fees they're going to charge you for listing, and what fee they're going to charge you for if they process the credit card, if they take a fee on shipping, if they take a fee on whatever. So make sure you know all your fees, and all your fees, y'all. So read the terms and conditions. Very important. You are now a business owner. It's not optional to read those terms and conditions. So for sure. And then maybe you're like me and you want to do a hybrid thing. Now, I enjoy having a brick and mortar store. I enjoy interacting with the customers. I love creating displays and things like that. Well, there's several things you need to think about beyond fees. Fees are very important, obviously. Naturally, very important to think about the fees that they're going to charge you for a brick and mortar space as well. So for instance, at the place that I sell at Picket Fence Scales, they have different size booths, and they each cost a different amount, which makes sense, right? So they have half spaces and full spaces, and then there's a sliding scale based on that, and then they have smaller spaces that are less, and like the entryway and the porch, there are different prices for each area that you can be in. So you need to know, if there's a space available where you're looking at selling, what the cost is for a booth, the size you would need. So if you're selling all smalls, then you maybe only need a tiny little space. And if you're selling furniture like I do, you're probably going to want a bigger space. So, make sure you're getting enough space and what it costs, and that you can afford it. Because before you start making money, that's coming out of your pocket, and you will have to pay up front. They're not going to wait till you make your first sale to get the money from you. They're going to get the money up front. So, and then you need to find out from them I always recommend people ask questions. For instance, why is the space currently available? Why did the other vendor leave? And it could just be that they are older and they're retiring, and that happens a lot in our business. And it could be that person wasn't doing well there. And there could be reasons for that. So we're going to explore those reasons right now. You need to ask some questions like, what kind of marketing does the business do? Are they doing social media? Are you expected to do marketing? What is the expectation of that business as far as promoting your business? Now, I had somebody ask me specifically about renting a booth. She was diving in for the first time, and she had asked me what to look for, and I said, you need to be there on a sale day. So Picket Fence Gals is an occasional sale. You need to go there when they're open and look at the foot traffic. Are they getting good traffic? So if you're on a antique store, let's say, and you go on in a weekend, which should be prime shopping time, right? Saturday, Sunday, go there and observe. Look and make sure, see how many people come into the store. Because if you're in an antique store that is in a remote location, or is in a location where people aren't particularly looking for vintage items or repurposed items, then you're going to struggle to make sales. So if they can't get the butts in the door, basically, you're not going to make any money. Okay? Number 1 tip, make sure they have the foot traffic. So go into the store, spend a day there, hang out. Ask other vendors how they do, how well they do. And then one other thing I would recommend is to ask for information on what their sales cycles are like. Now, this is something that I think a lot of people don't think about, and it is something I had no clue about. And now that I've been selling at Picket Fence Gals for a certain amount of time, I know the sales cycles. I know September is brutal. It just is. It's just dead. And that actually is a sales statistic that is a lot of most retail locations, because kids are going back to school. People have just spent a butt ton of money making sure their kids are all geared up for school. They ain't spending money right now. They're just not. So September's a down month. August is a great month. September's a really bad month. So plan in August that September's going to be bad. And then here in Minnesota, there are winter months. Those are the wild cards. We have a lot of really snowy weekends. We have a lot of really bitter cold weekends. Sales are bad if that happens. And if you're only open 5 days a month, like Picket Fence Gals, you can have some really lean winter months. Really, really lean winter months. And you need to know about that as a seller. Somebody who's been doing that at that location for a long time should be able to give you that information. They should know their sales cycles. What's a down month? What's an up month? What do you have to plan for? Ask those questions. And then the other thing I would do is find out from them what you're expected to have in terms of insurance. So some locations expect booth holders to have liability insurance, so that if somebody gets injured, say they're pulling something down in your booth and a bunch of stuff falls on their head, you're responsible for that. And you need to know if the business is carrying the liability or if you're carrying the liability insurance. So ask questions, read the contract, find out what their fees are, find out if they're the ones collecting the sales tax. That's something a lot of people don't think about. Now, they're not going to take income tax out of your check because you are a 1099 employee at that point. You have a booth, you are running a business, you get a 1099 at the end of the year. So they're not taking out income tax. You need to set that aside for yourself. But one thing that location should do is you should know if they're paying sales tax for you or if you're expected to pay the sales tax. So for me, I'm lucky because the locations I sell at collect the sales tax for me on my behalf and file it, so I don't have to. That's pretty nice. You don't want to not pay your sales tax. I'm sorry if you're doing this and you have not filed your sales tax return and they weren't doing it for you. The IRS doesn't care. The Department of Revenue doesn't care that you didn't know. It's not an excuse. So you need to make sure you know. So those are my top tips on finding a retail location. Now, if you're going to do both, there's a lot you need to think about, and you need to read those contracts. You need to know on Etsy what your sales cycle is. You need to know if they're going to offer a coupon. I got dinged on a coupon I didn't even know I was running on Etsy. So if there's a coupon that's generally available, I did not know that Etsy has like this coupon that is available for people if they have an item in an abandoned cart. And I wasn't running a promotion on that, so I didn't think it was valid in my Etsy store, but because it was still those coupon aggregators, so like, I don't know, what is it called? Those coupon sites, though, they have a plug-in on your toolbar that they run through all the different coupon codes for you. So you can just go online and go, yeah, check these. That's what they used. So even though they didn't have my item in their cart, and they didn't abandon my item in the cart, and I didn't send them the email, because that's how the campaign's supposed to work, is they put your item in their cart. They abandon that item in the cart, and then an email, if you decided to pay for that promotion, make sure you know what you're paying there. To send an email to them, Etsy will charge you a fee. Well, I didn't want to pay the fee for that, so I said, no, I'm not going to run that. But the coupon was still in my coupons, listed in my coupons, because it's like a default coupon. So one day, somebody placed an order, and I got dinged for a coupon. I'm like, right now, the only coupon I have in my shop at that time was a reorder coupon. So I give everybody who places an order with me a reorder coupon. And this person had never ordered from me before, so I was trying to figure out who they were. Like, where'd they get the coupon code? And then when I looked into it further, I was like, oh, I don't even offer this promotion. So I had to deactivate that coupon, so make sure you know. So that's my tips on finding a location and where to sell. But make sure you go online and if you're selling online, find the best place for you. The one reason that I chose Etsy was because over eBay, it's because they had a built-in audience that was specifically looking for vintage. You know, I don't have to be in the world's largest garage sale trying to say, find my vintage items, find my vintage items. I am now, you know, I've got a built-in audience. I've got a bunch of people who that's why they went to Etsy. So you're either going to Etsy for handmade or vintage. That's why I picked them. So if you're selling clothing that is high-end, you might want to go to Poshmark as opposed to ThredUp. If you're selling things that are lower on the designer end, then maybe ThredUp is your place to go. But make sure you know your location. eBay, if you're selling electronics, reselling electronics, which you can make a lot of money there, and movies and discs and whatever, then eBay's probably your go-to, because that's where everybody goes to look for that stuff. So make sure you know your location. If you're selling online, I'm guessing you already know. You can also use Amazon Marketplace. So they have, not Amazon. Yeah, Amazon. I know what I'm talking about. So Amazon has vintage, handmade. They have resellers. And you can also use Facebook Marketplace. So there are options out there. Explore your options. Look specifically for reseller sites. And make sure you read all your terms and conditions, because that gets you. You know, if you're not expecting a 3% ding on your shipping and you charge actual price on your shipping, you are losing money. You don't want to lose money. So, and take my advice on those retail locations. Make sure you ask questions. So I'm going to put a little downloadable printout in the links below for scoping out a retail location, because that's a lot of information that I just provided you, and I'd like you guys to be able to have like a checklist. How's that? It's going to be a checklist of what to ask when you get there, because it's a little overwhelming the first time you walk into a retail location. You go, I want to sell here. Oh, it's like, what do I do now? So below will be a link in the description of my advice for you, and hopefully you take it, and hopefully you find a really great retail location. So thanks for watching, everyone. Happy Junkin. Bye. Visit my blog, peonylanedesigns.com, for more tips, tricks, and inspiration. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll be notified of new videos. I post every week DIY tutorials and, of course, more Junkin videos.